What's happening, man? It's your boy, Coach John, man. Welcome to the 221 Trap Podcast. I'm honored to have another esteemed guest, man. We don't miss. I got Coach Chris Hawkins, Attucks High School, 4A championship winner. Gets a high percentage of his kids to college. Does not make excuses about it. Gets it done. One of the most genuine coaches in the city. A lot of kids in the community lucky to have him. And I'm just glad to call him a friend, great father, great advocate of the community. So, Coach, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate those kind words, man. You know, may need to get you to do an introduction every time, boy. Every time. Really appreciate that, man. You know, our relationship goes back, man. And so, like I said, real genuine brother that just, wants to see people succeed. Like I said, you got your son to D1. That's the goal. And you did it your way. And so, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has a different road to how they get there. So, like I said, really proud how you was able to fight and get what your son rightfully deserves. Like I said, just excited to be on the podcast, man. Maybe I can learn the 221 trap right now.
I got you. I got you. So look, let me go. So this year, how you looking this year, man? I know you hungry. They're young. They enthusiastic. What's your outlook for this coming season?
No, I just think we have a real good group of sophomores, juniors that have really played together last year. We had BJ, Christian Nunn, Latrell Williams were seniors, but our freshmen were 2 out of the 5 starters, or maybe 3 out of the 5 starters sometimes. So they got to play in some high-level games. I think we ended up 14-11, 13-11, and lost maybe 5 or 6 games by 6 points or less. So it's just coming down the stretch and just being able to trust and kids understanding their position and being able to do what they need to do. So I'm really excited, man. I think it starts with, our leading scorer coming back, Ron Rutland, offers from IUPUI and UIndy. More than a shooter. I think that's what a lot of people thought he was. He could handle the ball, play through contact, finish over the top. So really excited about his growth this spring and summer when he played AAU ball. And then, we have Jackson Payton, kid that's just oozing with talent. Came on, played some AAU with Mike Saunders' group in July. So he's seen that high level, started in the sectional against LN. And then Demetrius Jenkins, Michi, is coming back from an ACL tear. So looking forward to getting him back sometime in December, January. Not trying to rush him back or anything, but just want to make sure he's good to go. Now, when we're looking at our sophomores, and then we've got big fella Desmond Briscoe, 6'8", a lot of high majors, mid-majors looking at him, offers from IUPUI, Kent State, Butler, Purdue have been in several times to see him. Went down to IU to watch practice. Penn State's just started calling on him. Marquette, just to name a few. But, if he's doing what he needs to do, I think last year he wanted to defer to the seniors. I think this year, in my opinion, he's the best big in the state. I'm just going to say that no matter what. But like I said, I believe in him. And then a kid, our starting point guard last year, Chris Hurt, lefty, just learning last year, didn't really shoot the ball as much. He can shoot the ball, can get to the basket, can set people up. He's good. And then we have DeAndre Lott that will be, didn't play last year, had a knee injury. 6'4" kid, 3-and-D, can shoot it, can do a lot of things. So excited with him. And then, that class is 6 or 7 deep. Got a kid, Trayvon Davis, Julian Norwood, Ronson Thomas. The list goes on. So, between those two classes, we're really stacked. We got a couple seniors, Sincere Floyd, Devin Briscoe, that will do some damage for us. Then we got some freshmen that may be counted on. I have no qualms with putting freshmen out there. They got to learn. I think, that's the biggest thing. If they can understand and be able to, play D, I think, that, people got to be versatile. People got to be able to lock up people. And I think, if you want to win championships, you got to be able to defend. And so, we're gonna play hungry. We're going to get after teams. And I think, if we do what we need to do defensively and then offensively, we're able to play inside out or outside in. It really doesn't matter. I think we have 3 or 4 options that on any night could get double figures for us. So, like I said, it's just what they say. The cook in the kitchen, I got to get everything going the right way, making sure everybody's vibing. But we have to be intentional about what we want to do. And I think this year we know who we are and what how we should be. And I think, I'm looking forward to a great year.
Yeah, I am too. I actually, I spoke with Lot's dad, actually, and I told him, I said, you guys kind of remind me of the Pike team, JJ and Ryan were seniors. And sometimes the youth is good because these days, these guys aren't scared of upperclassmen like the old days. You know what I mean? Maybe 1 or 2 freshmen weren't scared. A lot of these guys have grew up playing against these guys in AAU. They play big-time tournaments. So sometimes that fearlessness can kind of be an asset, especially with a staff like yours, get a guys a lot of freedom. So I wanted to ask you, how do you set the championship mentality? Because, I know it's championship or bust every year. How do you set that championship tone as a coach from day one?
You just talk about the non-negotiables. You're trying to give effort, the energy, the commitment, the desire. You got to put that time in. That's that summer. Like, you got to be playing the AAU in the spring and the summer. You got to just high level. Then when we get to June ball, you just have to be also just committed to that process, man. I think, the biggest thing that we've done here is just like the competition level. Like, we want to compete every day in practice. I think, my first year, man, shout out to Coach Washington. There was a good group here with Nike, Jamal, that whole little group. It was just competition. We was able to come in, add some of the wrinkles that I wanted to add to kind of what they were already doing. Like, those kids competed on day in, day out basis. And it was, hey, I want to be the starter. I want to be this. Yeah. And so, like, when we played teams, like, nobody knows, like, we came North Central. That was Chris Wilkes' year. They came over here. I think that was the first time North Central came to Attucks. And, Doug Mitchell over here. I got on a too big suit. Man, it was hot. The gym was packed. Like, they get up 18-20. I think we cut it all the way back and tie the game and end up losing by like 3 or 4. Like, just setting that championship tone, man, like, hey, man, we put our shorts on the same way. Like, we got to have that desire. You got to have that hunger every time that you go out. And then it's just repeat every day, just doing the same things to get it there. Like, there's a reason why we went from, where at first, that first year we playing just the Pac teams and some other teams that every year we got LN, LC, North Central, Ben Davis, Brownsburg. We're going to Urbana to play a high-level team in Illinois. We're playing in showcases because people respect our program. We have high-level kids, and, like, it's just going to develop. There's, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, we're not going to run 45 sets. I'm not here to try to show off, hey, man, I got this. I'm going to let my kids play. Give them a system to show off and be able to use their abilities to score. And then, like, if we do it what we need to do, we're going to do it the right way. But, like, like I said, we're going to advocate for our kids and give them a structure to showcase them. And I think, that's the biggest thing, man. Everybody wants to put limits on things, and it's got to be my way or the highway. You look at the best coaches. You look at John Calipari. You look at the Gonzaga coach. You look at Duke, Mike Krzyzewski, going from the 4-year players to the one-and-dones. How do I change, and how does this impact my program that we can become winners? And then how can we get these kids to the next level? And that's really what it is, man. You want to get kids to graduate from high school, and somehow get D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, or some type of walk-on scholarship, that they're able to go on and do what they need to do. And that's basically what we're trying to do here. And like I said, we have a great track record. Like you got your slogan. I don't think we missed too many times. We may miss we don't miss a lot with what we do. But like I said, man, that's what it is, man. Kids want to go to school.
Yeah.
So we try to give them what they say to kids, we want to give them a platform to showcase their talents.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and push it on.
So let me ask you this, my brother. Like, how do you, because you competing, you for my listeners who don't know, Crispus Attucks is a legendary high school, Oscar Robertson, that shut down. That championship brought a lot to the community. But before I get into the championship one, I want to ask, a large percentage of your players go to college, be it JUCO, D2, whatever. And for those who don't know, this is a public school, so you don't have the largest amount of resources. You don't have tuition. It's not a township school, so you don't have a dedicated pool of money. You split resources. How do you make that and not use excuses to still get these young men to college?
Man, it's a vision. It's a vision. Every time you're making a decision, I think you're going into the thing like, what's this guy's vision for my player? Where does he see my player playing at? Where does he see him growing into? Is there a way that we can maneuver from being considered a 4-3 to a 3-2? How can we improve his game in order for him to be considered, what he wants to be considered instead of what traditionally everyone else thinks that they will be? And I think that's the biggest thing when we're looking at when we're trying to sell people, I got to come in and sit down and talk to you on the vision. Hey, son is 6'4", 6'5". Hey, man, he can play the PG. He can see over the top of defenses. He can guard 94 feet. Also, I think he can shoot the three. So then at that point, now we got your value as a 1, 2, and 3, and I can sell you to a program in those different ways. Now, when I'm just saying you a 1, man, you're going to have to get in the paint. You're going to have to be able to get assists. You're going to have to, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to do at a high level because there's so many point guards. But when you can add that shooting versatility, you can be a menace on defense and everything like that, and you get an assist. I mean, it's easy for coaches to be like, hey, I want that kid. And then basically just going from there, just having relationships, man, just being able to been in this AAU game long enough, coach with every AAU program in the state outside of Grand Park, but and SYF. But outside of that, man, it's just having those experiences, man, and just being consistent with parents and just letting them know, hey, this is what I can do for your son. Here's my track record. And then from there, the biggest thing is just once you sign the paper, it ain't that, I go away and just stop. I'm still going to be around. We're going to try to come to games. We're going to try to communicate with those coaches. So if you look at I think we probably got 14 to 15 right now. We got one pro, which is Zach Owens. He's overseas playing right now. He's out of the country. You got Nike back, but like Sincere Winthrop. You got kid, Isaiah Stafford at Logan, D1 JUCO, had a great showcase at the JUCO showcase a couple weeks back. We got Donovan Jalen, Chris Chin at IU Kokomo. We got Kevin Briscoe's at William and Penn. Tyron Rogers, a kid that, wasn't eligible coming from LN and basically, came on late in the season. And then kind of did what he needed to do, goes to Glen Oaks JUCO, shows out for Mike Elliott, and now he's at Purdue Northwest. So, man, we give the kids a platform, but I'm not just going to say, look at Tyron. Tyron was 6'5", 6'6". We're not calling him a forward or, a center. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're a small forward, almost a 2, your handle get right. So those are just things where, when, you're talking to the kid, you just being authentic with them and just let them know what their deal is. And so
Yeah.
I think that's what we do. Our coaches do a great job of that. I think a lot of things that we do is with the skill development. And I'll say this, there's some coaches that pride themselves on skill development, but the way that we produce players and get players out and, coaches that come through here, some say they had coaches coming through, but I wouldn't put it at the level of what we've had come through here and then what we're doing right now. So it's just the consistency part with us, man, just being able to show people, hey, man, if you're able to do this and, we'll do that. I mean, Sincere, City Player of the Year, Isaiah Stafford, City Player of the Year. And, to be honest, the 2017 we won state title. Nike Sabandi and Cavassier McCauley don't make Indiana All-Stars. I believe Cavassier was second in the City Player of the Year. I think Nike was even third or fourth. And so you just look at those players now. One's at Indiana State, Nike's at Pittsburgh. So, like I said, man, it's we have a great run going and don't plan on letting it stop soon.
Okay, quick plug to my sponsor, myself. We're going to be doing a lot of scouting, so these things will not be happening in the future. So we won't have to kind of worry about whose opinion is right, because mine's going to be right, because we obviously talking to the coaches. And but you're being a little modest, Coach. Like, I understand everything you said. I agree with you. But I'm sitting on dynamite here, bro. Like, I got to get to the layman's terms. With less resources, you get kids who probably would be at other schools, wouldn't have a college education. Those are the bare facts of the situation. And I think that comes from effort and a concern for the community and a concern about the future of these young men, whether they can score you 5 points or 20 points. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do it without, we do it with the bare minimum. A lot of schools that say, hey, come look at our locker room. Come look at our, everything that we got. We got the Wall of Fame, the Hall of Fame, and all that. I think the biggest thing is, we got banners in our gym. Some schools don't have no banners. Yeah. Some schools don't have the amount of players that we have retired or who are Indiana All-Stars or who's in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. So when you come here, you want to add to the legacy. You want to add to your legacy. So, that's just the biggest thing, man. So, like, I can't sell you with the bells and whistles. Yeah. You want to go to a school with 8 gyms, this ain't the school for you. But if you want to go to college, you want a chance to play in the best sectional in the state, you want a chance to compete for a sectional, regional, and all that, you got to come here. I mean, like I said, I think we got the best thing going. But at the end of the day, like, we do less with more. You know what I'm saying? Or let me change that back. We do more with less. Like I said, that's just the way it is, man. And like I said, we're headed to having the same facilities. Here another month or two, we'll break ground on a new football stadium, turf with a new track. And then, like I said, knock on wood, God willing, you get to phase 2, phase 3. We're working on 2 new gyms. So, man, people know. They know, and they use that against us. I've heard it several times. So it is what it is. But like I said, when we talking to coaches, opportunities, and getting them to the next level, we're right up there with everybody else. So like I said, shout out to everybody else, man. I love all the other coaches, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy at Fishers. He got a whip this year, man. He got a real whip with Harrelson. Everything like that. He got a whip. Carlisle over at Ben Davis, they got a whip. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know
about Ben Davis. I love Ben Davis. Ben Davis. I love Ben Davis. I'm like adopted stepchild of Ben Davis because of what they do to my old neighborhood. But so every time it's 28-3 at halftime, I just pull out some purple and just think about the good old days of the '90s as a Giant. You know what I mean? But they got a lot of talent, but they got to rein it in. It's a lot of talent. Like, so one thing about that basketball, it's only one of them. So you got to make sure that you can win. When you win, everybody got to give something. So that's why I like your team, because your kids are a little younger, Now, I think talent-wise, I think Ben Davis is the most talented team in the state. I like Sean Arnold. I like Sharp. I like a lot of their players. So I haven't saw the Harrelson kid in a long time. A lot of people tell me he's really, really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Who are some other coaches in here? I know you're a good friend of Coach Byers. He's always ran a tight ship over there. Excellent practices. I learned so much. Actually, I learned a lot from you and him in the same year. So,
hey, it is what it is, big time. You know, we'll no comment that one for the people. But to be completely honest, the biggest thing, like Coach Bowling, I was under Coach Bowling at Short Ridge. It's a great thing with, he's went back to Anderson and has that group playing well. Got their team ranked and everything like that. He's done a great job. Coach Delaney gave me my first job when I was at Southport.
I didn't know that.
Like I said, he did a great job over at
Shout out Delaney,
Tech, everything like that. So, like I said, man, it's a lot of coaches, man, that you just try to emulate and everything like that. And, the funniest thing, man, for me, man, when I was in high school, man, my coach was Bill Springer. Mm-hmm. Old school, man. Coach at Short Ridge. Mm-hmm. And, my first year when we won the state title, he was at every, the regional game, semi-state game, state championship game. He said, Hawkins, back in the day, I told you not to dribble that ball, man. But, you got a team that you should let dribble that ball. And it was just funny. You know what I'm saying? It just came full circle. And, like I said, man, we ran flex back in the day, man. I ended up running some flex with that team. So it's just funny how man, you go through something, you're like, nah, I never run that offense if I get some dogs or something like that. Then you get into a situation where, hey, man, we actually use it, and it was cool. But, them just some coaches. Like I said, Todd Howard, really smart mind, offensively knows a lot at Brebeuf. Learned a lot under him before I took over the job at Attucks.
I see you got a relationship with Upshaw and them too in the region, Bo Patton.
So I'm gonna be perfectly honest, man. I love going to play in the region, man. I love going to play up there. We've been playing Gary 21st last 4 or 5 years. Bo Pat. Hopefully we're gonna try to get them back. As we join this conference, I had to get rid of a couple of games. So, man, both of them coaches, man, good coaches, good dudes, man. They work for their players. And when I talk about Bo Pat, man, he works to showcase his players, get his players seen. Their skill development up there is second to none. Putting AAU programs together to get kids out there. And then, Coach Upshaw, man, just a real dude, man. Real dude. Just got dogs, man. Got dogs. You know what I'm saying? We got Owen, man. Owen from last year. They came down here. It's on me, man. We was up. It's on me. So
let me ask you this: what do you think what's the benefit of playing those guys, in your opinion?
No, I think you got to go up there and get a different style of play. So down here, or you go south, or you may even go east, man. You playing teams that want to run a lot of sets and be able to control the clock, as we say, and then kind of just play possession basketball versus going up there. Man, you got kids just like us that's going to play. And so if one of those teams in the region, let's say, what was that, Gary Westside that had a chance a couple years back?
Yeah.
If they come out the north, that's who you play.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, let's go backtrack to when we played Evansville Bossy. Everything that we played in semi-state, in the sectional and the regional was slow down teams. Bossy wanted to get up and down the floor. So now we got to go back to our experiences against Tech, those IPS schools, because that, I kind of crafted a schedule where you're going to play teams that slow it down. You're going to play teams that run it. Then you're just going to play teams that are going to play helter-skelter. So at some point during the tournament, you can see anything. Yeah. And I think playing those teams up north, you look at it this year, Gary 21st has a chance to come out, if they do what they need to do. But once again, he's going to need to be able to play that slow down ball. He's going to need to play that fast ball. to be able to, be ready for it. Because, as I know, them officials in them tournament games is just different. So, they may let old boy carry the ball every time, or they may not. They may call it. So those are just instances where I think going up there and playing them, it just gets us ready for like the city tournament, but also gets us ready if we have to play one of those teams later on in the tournament in the north, or, if we run into somebody in regionals or semi-state. But usually semi-state, you playing a team from the south that's more controlling the pace and wanting you to work through screens and things like that.
So would you say that, because I appreciate you, Bo Patton is my guy, so I love Coach. That's my guy. Very brilliant young man. And I appreciate you, opening the gym to those guys, because being a region kid, it gives them exposure that they wouldn't get in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? So with this being the capital and the capital of the state media-wise, it's always great to see somebody from the region, somebody working together and bridging that gap. And I think it helps the kids just socially and everything, long term. So let me ask you, between the region and central Indiana, where we are, and southern Indiana, what are some of the differences in the playing styles? Does it get slower as you go farther south, more deliberate?
I believe, it's going to get more deliberate, just depending on what school or a team has. I think up north, it could be deliberate if there's a team just full of shooters. But like I said, it's just different strokes for different folks, and it also depends on what coach you have. I think, up north, I think more teams are trying to get out, run more, play more open basketball like the Phoenix Suns or the Warriors. I think down south, if you have a traditional big, you want to play 4 out, 1 in, and kind of just deliberately throw it to the post and see how teams play. Here in central Indiana, depending on if you have size or you don't have size, you're playing a 5 out brand of basketball where you're trying to, dribble, pass, shoot, cut, just trying to make reads.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I think some of the times, you got those coaches, man, it's just, hey, man, we running whatever. And this is how it's going to be. So, but like I said, for the most part, man, I think up north, the game's opening up. Central Indiana, same thing. We're just trying to, you play with what you have. But then down south, it just depends, man. If you got a whip and you got some players that can get up and down the floor, they'll run. But for the most part, if I just have a team that's just, we got one kid and we want to showcase that one kid, they're going to run 32 sets. And you got to be ready to go through 32 sets.
Yeah. And you better be ready to fight through some screens, buddy. You know
you
better be paying attention. Yeah, you better be attention to the weak side HSE screens, buddy. You know what I mean? It's all kind of things in Indiana. But different topic. My thing, it came to me as you was talking, like when the draw came out, when you went 4-8, I was under the assumption, people was telling me it was crazy. I thought you was going to 11. Me, I'm not Lewis and Clark or nothing. I don't care at Compass. But I thought with Pike and Ben Davis, and I thought they would throw you in there, the numbers. So did you know you was going to the sectional, you went sectional 10, and how did you approach that mindset going in there?
So the issue was, I think, when they talked about the numbers and then kind of IPS was closing schools, it was no secret that sectional 10 or sectional 11 would have, that's where we were going. The issue was, just trying to, okay, what's a centrally located school that would latch on? Now, I think Shortridge ended up going 3A, and they were like 10 students under, I think it was 1,045 students. And I think, we were 15 over that number.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I thought it, for us, we downtown, close to, Pike and BD. So it made sense to go that way. But once we knew Shortridge was going to 3A, I think they wanted that section to have us with the success that we had. And it just, I figured it. But I think, we knew that we just had to get a mentality of, this ain't going to be, not saying that 3A, I think we were in the toughest 3A section. I mean, you had us, Burbuff, Chatard, Garen Catholic was good at that point. Cardinal Ritter had teams. Like, it was 3 or 4 highly ranked teams in that sectional before we moved into this sectional. Where
that's probably one of the best well coached sectionals in the state back when you was in 3A. That was tough.
And then when you look at where we at right now, I think one year, one team was like 3rd, 5th, 1st, 9th, 10th, 11th. So like, I mean, it was what it was. And like I said, the first year, you come in, we get Cathedral that first year, and then we let one slip with LN. I always look back at that. We up 5 with 30 seconds to go. We got to close that. That's on me. So, do that. I think the next year, I think we got Tech, beat them, and then I forget who we played that next game. And just, didn't get that one. And then, go back to this past year where, LN, CJ out. We play that game tough to the last second, third quarter. We get a steal, missed a wide open layup. I think they go down, hit a 3 at the end. They up 4, and we just never could get over the hump closing it. So if you look at it, we won a game the first 2 years, didn't win a game last year. So we've been competitive in the sectional. I just think it's just, it's just a mentality and just being stronger, tougher, and being able just to understand that, I think sometimes kids think when they see these township schools, it's just like, hey, they should win all the time. Like, nah, it's that mentality. And, like, we just have to develop that and finish games. And I think that's the biggest thing going forward, staying in 4A and staying in this sectional. Just finishing games, man, and just being a tougher team. I think that's what it boils down to. They say it in football, toughest team wins. Look at the coach, man. Just look at the coach. Finesse. Hey, we out here finesse game, boy.
Throwing the ball 42 times with a 50-year-old man, but I digress. Hey, listen, so let me ask you something before I forget. Do you think as good a quality product as we have here in Indiana with our basketball, do you think the tournaments, the sectionals should be seeded?
Right now, probably yes. Now, I believe, if it stays the same thing, and let's say we don't go to Class 5A, that could be happening here soon. But I believe it should be, seeded, man, because, man, some of the times, and it, I believe a couple years in a row, it was Pike Ben Davis out the gate. You know what I'm saying? You don't even give nobody else a try. Yeah. And so, like, those are the times where you look at the sectionals for football, LE and LC right out the gate, Warren LC right out the gate. Like, we don't give a chance to give these teams opportunities to meet in the regional or whatever. So I feel like it should be seeded. And then, like, you just go from there. Because, like, man, like I said, some teams, man, what was that LC team, man, that lost to LN that year?
28-1, 28-1 versus 28-2.
Yeah, and so, like, one team got to go home. So I just think, man, just going forward, I think seeding it would be the best way in order to protect the matchups, get the best matchups, because what you want to do, and I think, in a business, you want to sell the most tickets. You want to get the best product. So if we're trying to do that, then seeding the game would be the right thing to do going forward. But like I said, there's so many different things with that and being able to do that. And then I think also when you go to class basketball, there has to be a winner. I still think everybody go in the tournament by itself, and then let's just see who's the best team.
Yeah,
that's the ultimate thing that I think we got away from, and I think that changed either my senior year or right after I left when they moved to that.
See, my idea is, I my soapbox because I hate to see a team put in a whole year and they had to play the second best team in their section and they both state championship contenders. That should at least be a semifinal or a championship game. Like, do it like Chicago, 1 through 32 or whatever. Or my personal idea, break the state into 4 quadrants, man. Northwest, Southwest, Northeast, Southeast. Break it up. You got the Saginaw rankings. 4A, 1 through 16, 1 through whatever, and let us play, man. If I'm 28-1, I should be playing somebody 24-2 the first round, man. If I'm 28-1, I should be playing somebody 5-17. You know what I mean? So this is the only sport, and it's such a quality product where your two best teams can lose Wednesday night. People always try to make it nostalgic and exciting, but traditions are made to evolve. You know what I mean? I think in 2022, we need to evolve.
No, I agree with you, man. Like I said, I'm of the thought process, man, that seeding, and like, you know, I know me and Coach Delaney has talked about this a lot, but I think seeding it would be the best thing. Just because, man, you got to look at it. And then I don't even think you can seed it correctly in our sectional, especially like the year that, you know, we all played each other, because it didn't matter how you seeded it.
Everybody was good.
Everybody was good that year. So, you know, it's a different process, but I also think how sectionals are crafted need to be looked at also.
Most definitely.
Because those are just some things where I'm just looking at some things like, I don't know how, you know, we get there. So take example. I just always look at Attucks. Yeah. Our soccer program is playing Carmel and Westfield in soccer sectionals right now.
Why?
It's not shouldn't be happening. There's no way we're far. So
at no other time are y'all in a rush to be associated with nothing. But now all of a sudden we finna play in soccer sections. Like, tell me the logic in that. Who's making $100,000 that thinks that's logical? I just want to call me because I need a job. Just send me the link to the website and a reference because they can pay me too. Because that makes no sense.
Our girls' soccer coach was like, "Is this fair?" Say, "Hey, this is the way they drew the section."
So why not? So all the other schools don't have soccer. So
what happens is, Brebeuf moved up. So Brebeuf needed to move in 4A. So we were in sectional 10 for soccer both the last couple of years. So when Brebeuf's soccer team moved up because of them winning, that moved them over to the sectional 10 section, and we got moved over up north. But you know, a lot of teams don't have soccer programs, so it's only a 3A state champion, like 3A, 2A, 1A for girls soccer and boys soccer. So that's the reason why, you know, it's just a different way to look at it. But at the same time, when you're looking in the sectional, and I think it's us, Heron, Westfield, North Central, Carmel, like, come on now. Come on.
What are we doing?
Like, that doesn't make sense at all. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to compete. And like I tell my coach, hey, if we put the work in during the summer like they do, I mean, we got a chance. So, but those are just some questions.
Tri-West and nobody over there? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but see, Tri-West would be more considered maybe a 2A when it's a 3A program. So that's just kind of the issues.
So let me crack the egg on this sectional thing. This is another pet peeve of mine. Thank you, Lord. I don't understand how we got to talk about it. I don't know what you can't talk about it. You can just say no comment. You know, my brother. But I don't understand how Mount Vernon and New Paltz 7 miles from Warren, but Warren got to play Crispus Attucks in the sectional. I don't get it. Lawrence Central, New Paltz, Mount Vernon is all over there. Lawrence North, you get from Lawrence North to Mount Vernon, Warren and Mount Vernon, all that's within 10 minutes. None of that's, anybody geographically educated doesn't associate the schools over here with the schools over there. So I just think they're trying to, they say it's for competitive reasons, but they want the demographics to match up. They want certain sectionals to be for certain groups, and they want certain people to work to regionals to get to certain places. And I think it just puts a lot of Indianapolis in a competitive bind. I think if you reseeded it and you did it truly, just say every school within a 20-mile radius. If you want to do that, like, don't pick and choose, don't play chess and battleship on the board. And that's just my pet peeve with it. I think it could be a lot more simpler, a lot more fair to the Indianapolis schools. So we got one school coming out of Indianapolis, one school coming out of 11. I just think the whole thing is kind of convoluted. So if you could change one thing about sectionals, how would you do it in your opinion?
First, we're going to a live draw. Okay. I don't care what nobody say. I want to make sure them ping pong balls matching when they come out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the biggest thing. I would say a live draw, everybody wants to know, did that really come out, or is it just more? Because what was it? 3-4 years in a row, the city champion played the county champion in the first round of sectional 10. So, like, those are just the things of you have to do that. That would be my first thing. Then I think also just how do you drawing the map. The map has to make sense. I get it. Because even when you look at it, they do it in all 4 classes with Indianapolis teams having to come out of 2 sectionals. So it's always like 3A, we were in sectional 27, 28. And like that was with Cardinal Ritter and us, Beech Grove, Chatard. Then the other half would be like Washington, Beech Grove, Speedway, somewhere like that. So like you just trying to, all right, well, we gonna at least let these teams get to regionals.
Right.
At least 2 Indianapolis teams get to regionals. But then the regional championship, you playing somebody, you may play somebody from what was that? We played Owen Valley, Lebanon, just schools like that, and then Tri-West and Danville until they maneuvered that whole sectional out the way. So, man, those would be my 2 things, man. How do you do the map? The map should be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, man, like you got to hoop. You got to hoop, no matter if Warren and what's the name's not in there. Because, like, let's say you go to this 5A, you go to a 5A thing, and then you try to maneuver it to 4-team sectionals and all this other stuff that people be looking at, kind of like what 6A football is. Mm-hmm. Then you look at sectional 10 as a wrap. You won't have sectional 10 no more. Yeah. Because then you would look at us within a 5A program, and Cathedral would be in that, and then you redraw it because those other schools are going to go go to 5A with that being the highest one. So, I mean, it's just interesting who's in the room making the decisions, and that's really what it boils down to, the decision makers and how they want to cut it.
Yeah.
And I think
at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do. Go ahead.
As we say, the more times you have people in the room that can influence those conversations and be able to kind of just say, hey, man, that ain't fair. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I think that's where we have to get to. But like I said, basketball, man, it is what it is. And like I always tell people, and like what you said, man, just with our facility, you still got to put the ball in the basket. No matter what that brand new shiny gem looks like. Can't put it in the basket, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to have issues. So, but yeah, those would be my 2 things, man. Just I want to see a live draw of every sectional. Then trying to figure out, just how do you decipher each sectional, each grouping, and then put logic behind it so then people can see what it looks like. Because, like, what we're coming into, when you're a new coach, you coming into a whole new situation where you won't even know about these sectionals until you start to get in and kind of get your feet wet and understand what's going on. And then every 2 years, how things change and how it goes. So then now you know the ebbs and flows of kind of what's going on. So, it's different, man. It's different, but you get used to it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would immediately make that process. I agree with everything you said. Live draw, transparency, man. Let us see everything. Let me see how them Broncos fall. Don't tell me on the Indy Star, man. I don't want to wait and see it on Twitter. I want to see it live, like Vanna White, like she had to turn the numbers. I want to see the draw.
Hey, and then I think you get more. If they made a live show. They get so many people just watching, tuning in. Then you would have more of these. We get together as a team just because we want to do bonding and all that other stuff. But, like, we just want to see it, man. And I think it adds more to the Hoosier hysteria if you do something like that.
Yeah. Now I think you and myself, we're very adapted. We authentic people. We come from real stuff, so we've given so much to the community, but we've also been able to make acquaintances with a lot of powerful people in Indiana, and I think that's a skill. I think you have to be able to sit at multiple tables You have to listen. You have to articulate. You have to understand where other people's coming from. Do you think your ability to network relationships has that benefited your players a lot?
I think so, most definitely. Just being able to, I always tell people this, man. Year 2 and year 3, I thought we would win the state title over here. It wasn't year 1. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most, you coming in, you trying to figure it out. But I think, you win the state title. You go into that next year, ranked number 1 for majority of the year. We just had a process and stuck to it. And I think that's opened some doors and some opportunities to be able to talk with other coaches, talk with college coaches, talk with NBA coaches, be able to maneuver and partner with just different brands, being able to have, we got our own Converse shoe. How many people got their own Converse shoe? How many people got their own Converse deal? So those are just things, man, just being able to, share that unique story. Like I said, I give all my props, man, to Ray Crow, that whole 50, 51, 55, 57, 59, 55, 56, like, man, they did their thing. But like I said, the way that they did it, how they represented the community, how they represented everything that, Crispus Attucks had to offer. Like in my life, man, I've never met, I think I shook about 17,000 people's hands that year we won state, man. Just people just coming up that, that whole year, just authentic people. And right now I can call Oscar. I can call Bill Hampton. I can call Merriweather. And just have conversations just about basketball or just, we just talk about what happened back in the day with them. And it's a great thing to have, man. Like I said, I got an Attucks Letterman jacket. You know what I'm saying? I didn't graduate. Like, man, just the way that we in here, their community has embraced me. I feel like I'm an Attucks Tiger. Like, the hottie, ho, hottie. Being able to say that. But like I said, man, it's real over here, man. You feel it.
Yeah, it
like
is.
I said, it's it's something, man. Like I said, our team definitely has benefited. Our players that have went on to the next level have benefited, and I believe, our relationships that we have made, with other programs or whatever. Carmel.
Yeah.
Carmel came over here, man. Carmel came through.
That's
Shout out
legendary.
to Osborne. Sometimes like when I was trying to get certain teams over here, they wouldn't play because of what this IPS, what a typical IPS school is. And I think we changed that logic for the most part. That teams are willing to play us and willing to go down there. I mean, went down there to the king of where Damon Bailey was, Bedford North Lawrence. Great games, great coaches, great fans. But like I said, it's just these opportunities and doors opening and just being able to be, an authentic coach, somebody that people respect and people, think that, I do a good job that, hey, we're going to play your team, and we like it. And like I said, it's just being able to have those opportunities. And I think the other thing is like playing in these showcase tournaments. I think, a lot of people think it's just easy to get in there. It ain't, man. It's a lot of politicking, man, to get in these tournaments.
Yeah.
We both know that, man. Trying to get on the circuit and all this other stuff and trying to get these deals. It's a lot of stuff. Like I said, I think I've through success here and through success in AAU and through success just having players and having opportunities, we've been able to put Crispus Attucks back on the map and keeping it going. And like I said, just decided to keep that future pipeline going to the college realm. And then, like I said, hopefully Nike and a couple other ones can get a pro contract or get into the G League. And like I said, we can just start, getting these uniforms and posting these uniforms up in the gym.
Yeah. I got a couple of points on that. Shout out to you, man. Like I say, you're extremely modest, brother. Like a lot of people, the kids you got in college, a lot of people ain't getting them. Like my former players, like BJ Trill. Shout out Donovan Barnett, Lil Donnie. All the real ones. Like when you go to Attucks, you get real culture. You know, it's not none of that fluff stuff. People gonna look you in the eye. They gonna talk to you right. You know, people. You know, it's good black folk. It's good vibes. It's just so that's a testament to you that these schools coming in here knowing how hard you work, and just that's why I was a fan trying to go. You know, several times, but you basically played a mixed schedule, with exception of probably Center Grove and a school on 71st Street. Everybody else played you.
Yep.
Did you played everybody else, right?
Yep.
Carmel,
No, we
Lynn.
played everybody, and we had a game with Center Grove scheduled, but then, like I said, we had too many games, so we had to pull that one off. But like for the most
Shout
part,
out Center Grove, man.
hey, shout out to all of them, Coach Hahn, Coach Keaton, the whole little group.
BK, my guy. I fuck with BK.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think for the most part, man, like, you know, we wasn't backing down, man, like our kids wanted, man, you know. And we want to play everybody. Okay. Well, like I said, we're gonna have to bring it and we're gonna have to do it. So and that's what I do. Like if I ever have to say I'm going down and we ain't gonna play them games, and you know, the Chris Hawkins era will probably come to an end because we want to compete and we want to go after people every day. And I think that's the biggest thing, man, is being able to compete, have that hunger, and you know what I'm saying? Hey, you got to get after people, man. Hey, it's cool.
And I'm gonna keep it 100, man. I know a lot of people think like I crack my jokes, but in all honesty, you know, I'm a very transparent, honest dude. Like you and Cathedral, y'all the only ones that really rock with up north, and like they got like a top 10, like a Jalen Washington or something. Y'all the only two that ain't scared to go to Maryville, go to Gary, like y'all really getting them games, and I think it shows in tournament time. You know what I mean? You need that diversity to your schedule. So like me, I always respect coaches that's outside, man. Don't go 22-1 playing egg roll tech, bro. I don't give a shit about that. Like I'm tired. I want you to play somebody, man. Like listen. And Ryan Owens, my guy, I know you tried, Ryan. I wanted to play in Secrets for Santa so bad, man. My son was the best defense player in the state. We wanted to play in Sneakers for Santa so bad, man. That's why I like it. You find the showcases, Sneaker for Santa, Urbana. I think one year, we played like 3 showcases one year.
Yeah, we played Danville Hoop Fest, played Lalamere, played Tennessee Prep last year. I mean, we played Yorkville Christian, got the kid going to Duke. Like, man, we played everything, man, to try to get kids showcased, get kids put out there in a way to be seen. And then, like I said, I mean, we play a good way that those teams try to schedule us again. So, like, you know, it ain't no Dunkin' Smoke. Dude to call and ask me, do you want to play Lalamere? And like me and the Lalamere coach, good friends, great guy. You know, we tried to kind of get it back on schedule, but it just hasn't worked out. But for the most part, man, we ain't ducking no smoke. We want
man, this feel like therapy, man, because while you playing all them games, my dumb ass losing to Noahsville 31-32 and quadruple overtime.
Hey, I say last year, man, we were trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to play. We had a couple 45s to 44s. Hey, so sometimes it happens like that, man, that you can't put nothing.
It don't happen like that with 2 kids. Nah, we ain't gonna go there. Nah, you can say that, bro. Now with JJ and Ryan, it don't happen like that, bro. Nah,
I got you.
But that's a different story. Hey, listen. So let me ask you a question. This is my question. I'm glad you may remember. Last year in the gym, you had JJ, Hooks, Nunn, DJ. I never came to the practice. I know everybody has this assumption that I'm a Frankenstein. I never came to practice. I never put no binoculars. I never mic'd you up. I never tailgated nobody, you know. So how good was that team? Because they said it was some good stuff going on if it had worked out. How good was those practices?
Nah, I mean, very competitive, man, every day. I mean, and we had maybe 6 or 7, 8 D1 coaches in during when those guys were there. I mean, very competitive. Like, you had to bring it. If you didn't bring it, you wasn't playing. Like, and it was you only had that 10, and it was it. Like, going at each other every day. And so, you know, when I look back on that whole situation, like, what could have been? Like,
that team win state, bro.
Easy. I always, hey,
Easy,
I go back and say that no matter what. Like
easy,
the
easy.
amount of talent that was in that room, and people was in there and they saw what we had. And I always would go back to that. Hey, we put an asterisk on that season. That's how
Yeah,
we gonna
yeah,
say. Put an asterisk on it, and then like I said, but I think the biggest thing, Hooks is back. He's gonna be able to
yeah,
play at Warren, do his thing, get his looks, get what he needs to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
JJ got his stuff. BJ's at Lincoln Trail. Latrell, the kids, all the kids that we had over there is where they need to be. So it worked out at the end. And so at the end of the day, man, like I said, man, I love all those kids. But yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
some serious runs, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Serious
yeah,
runs.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when boys knew what, hey, couldn't come
They
in.
knew.
Hey,
They knew. They knew. They was probably got a lot of help trying to block that transfer, bro. They getting a lot of help from the east side. There's people all over trying to help block that transfer. Spain, Maine, everywhere.
he
Good
said,
luck.
man.
Everywhere. But I just that was a very competitive, and I also want to give you your flowers, bro, because you, a couple other people around this city is not many. You one of the few high school coaches I've never seen you flake on a kid that transferred or didn't come to your school. Ever. Still, hey, JJ didn't get in. Hey, bro, hey, such call me. Hey, such call me. That right there, to me, is a character caveat. I think that's what separates you, bro. So as your bro, I just want to let you know that it's rare in this game where people are kind of looking at it for what can you do for me, and if you don't play for me, you the purge of the earth. Nah, man, I seen kids transfer. Hey, I'm gonna sign off on it, bro. Hey, you good, man? That's a message.
I just think it's all about the kids at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
We've lost some kids have left us. But at the end of the day, if it's a better opportunity for them, like I said, hey, go ahead and do your thing, man. Like I said, I'm excited. Excited. Like I said, I think the year we lost semi-state, we had a kid, Warren Williams, started for us the year before that we got to the regionals. Wasn't going to keep his brother or his little brother that would have been here. And, comes down to the last conversation, like, man, coach, I want to stay, but I'm going to go. And so he ends up going to Indy Met. They end up getting to the regional final that year. And, it worked out. But like I said, I'm not going to ever hold a kid back, whatever. It's not in my DNA. It's not, it's not about us coaches. The kid's not able to do what he needs to do over here or think he's not doing what he needs to do over here. I've always had that policy. We signing off and that's it. So, like I said, man, it is what it is. Like that. That's just gonna be me, no matter where I'm at. We're not holding anybody. Like I said, get their opportunities because I think you block a blessing, then that's gonna turn around, come down to you down the road. One of your blessings will be blocked. So, like I said, man, you gotta do right by kids. You gotta do right. You gotta do the right thing in certain situations, and that's just me. It's how we look at it over here. And like I said, I'm just always gonna do that. So, and then like I said, at the end of the day, man, when it's about the kids, man, somebody call. It's been several people that called about kids, and that wasn't here. Hey, boom, boom, boom. Here's a phone number. This is who they playing with. Boom, 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 boom. This is what I know about their current situation, and then just get with their parents, and then that's it. But I don't. You don't get anything by blocking kids, in my opinion. But like I said, there's an old school approach to some things that some people do, and then there's a new school approach. And I think just being on the right side of right is always going to be what I pick. And so, like I said, man, yeah, you're not happy here, go somewhere else where you're going to be happy and where you think that you can thrive.
I totally agree. If I was ever AD, and shout out to you, Mosey, another black AD in the city. Y'all both groundbreaking. He the same way. He signed off on a lot of stuff. And I ain't finna play with you. You don't want to be here, just go. I really think that you need to explain, like, so if a parent is in IPS, they got a young kid that's pretty talented, middle school, what can they do to stay on track and become a part of what you got going? And what's the benefits of staying at IPS?
No, I just think benefit is, man, everybody wants to run to the hippest or newest or coolest thing. I think you got to run your own race. You got to run your own journey. I think the biggest thing is just knowing what you want and looking at, what's out there. So if I'm an IPS kid, I'm looking at it, you want to look at the programs that's been the most successful, that gets kids to college. And then academically, what does that school offer you and your son? So, shameless plug, we got the health and science magnet over here, computer science magnet. So, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, you want to do those types of things. This is a school for you. I mean, it's high level. You can get your CNA license through your 4 years here. You can get a job placement through IU Health. There's just so many things that you could do. But middle school wise, man, you're going to go through. I think what we do a good job is doing middle school all-star games, putting the middle school schedule together. Then we give the opportunity for our high school coaches, and this is in all sports, to come out and run practices. So now you're getting your firsthand level of being with coaches that are at the high school level and then getting to see what they do. Then from there, you playing at your 6th, your 7th, your 8th grade. You kind of know what you're looking for at. And then I think the biggest thing is just, we do a high school extravaganza throughout the district. And then that kind of, we bring in the academic side and the athletic side to it. So, every school's going to have their things of, what they're good at. But I think, for us, we just, winning cures all. Being able to be on that platform, being able to, Channel 13, Channel 8, Channel 59, just being able just to have certain stuff and being able to be seen on the stages. I mean, it just makes sense if you want to do that and you ready for it and you ready for the spotlight. Doing it over here is a great opportunity. But like I said, we value the student athlete, and we got a lot of great middle schools that, with the Montessori's and just the IB schools that like, you're going to be able to find your niche. You don't have to go, to 15 million public schools or these township schools. And, basketball is going to be the same thing, man. You got to score it both ways. You got to make a 2, make a 3, make a free throw. Just because you got a locker room that has limelights, and, you got DVDs, PlayStation 5s, Xboxes. I mean, that's all cool and everything. You're going to get that at college. You're going to get that at college anyway. So, like, man, we hooping, and I got to have a vision. If I don't have a vision for you, then that's when you need to kind of figure out this may not be the place. But, like, got to have visions, man. The vision for that player, vision that you see them in the 4 years, where it can go, and building around them and adding pieces that it makes sense to them that why should I leave? If it's 10 or 15 schools coming over here to watch workouts, I'm probably going to have a better opportunity here than somewhere else. So those are just the things, man. And like I said, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. There's no reason to do the puffing on the chest or whatever. People know what it is. And outside of that, you know what I'm saying? We just keep it pushing, man. We have the formula. All it is just making sure it's the right fit. And those are always going to be the questions. Is it the right fit? And then if it's the right fit and you ready to work hard and you ready to get after it, then like I said, at the end of the day, when we get to senior night, we're going to have something ready for you. And then you're going to be able to, grow and benefit off the court. It's about growing these young men, you know what I'm saying, building them with great character, and then letting them know, all right, man, I got this basketball thing, but you know what I'm saying, you want to cultivate that, keep that growing also. So, that's why it's just over here, man. We love it. It's the Attucks.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, because PlayStation 5 fun, but it don't mean shit when you won at 13 in the MIC in 2 years, I promise, bro. I played all the Call of Duty I can.
Like I said, that's just like I said. You get a lot of people, and I've talked to parents that say, "Oh, well, we're looking for 8 Vertimaxes," and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. I tell you, I'm gonna tell you, we got the best weight room facilities, and their team benefited from that because there was an investment. You look at Westfield when old boy was coming up, and now he's at Purdue, and then they got the other kid that went to Eastern Illinois. Like when they made that investment in their weight room and did all that, like it worked. So, like I said, we're headed down that path. So I like it. I like where we're at. I like what we do over here. I like my Coach Davis that does the weight room stuff over here. He gets our players prepared and does things the right way to get our kids ready to battle in the trenches. Because, like I said, this sectional 10 is the trenches, man. And so the week, there's no time for the week in there. So,
shit, even the strong get upset on Wednesday night. You get caught slipping.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, all about that draw.
All about that. We need to see it. Let me get in there.
Hey, let me see that. That's it. Let me see it one time. They could do that you could really just do it for one section. Just to throw away people saying, oh, they don't think it's real, or you know what I'm saying? And just do it one time. Each year, you go to sectional 8 or do sectional 9. Just, do a different sectional each year. And like I said, it just adds to intrigue for the sectional drawing. But it just gives the thing to people to be like, because, man, you talk to everybody, people think everything is rigged, man. I could have swore I thought it was rigged that year. It was 3 straight. You win the city, you won the county, y'all play in the first round of sections. Like, come on. Because then now you're just thinking in your head, hey, do I even want to win the city? Because you first round matchup.
Yeah.
And then what was it? North Central got to buy 2 years in a row?
Yeah. 2 years in a row. Yeah. And then, my honest opinion is, I keep this a little clean, Coach, but I just think that, and it's business, I think certain demographics have to be catered to. We got to look at the numbers, what sells. It's just like when the NBA was a certain way in the 70s, you got to market to certain demographics. So you have to accept that and be real about it, because crying about it is not going to change it. So if you can control what you can, change it. And if you can't control it, ain't nothing you can do about it anyway. So you got to hoop. You got to be better. Like we play, if you're raising them right, like you said, when you get to state, you're going to know you're going to have to guard with your hand off. You're going to know you're going to have to do all this. So you raising them right, man. I know you got to get to practice, man. I'm gonna let you get out of here. I just want to tell you, I appreciate you, man. Good luck this year. I want to give you flowers, salute you and everything you do. All positive endeavors to you and the family, man. Thank you for taking the time.
No, I appreciate the opportunity coming on. And like I said, tell JJ, man, I'm going to grab one of them T-shirts and hoodies. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I knew it was coming up. It was coming up.
Hey, look, we got the JJ Loud fold cases, jjloud.com. We got shirts. We got iPhone cases. We got coffee mugs. We got bonnets. We got it all. All right, so just stop in with the mob.
Hey, nah, I got you, brother. Nah, appreciate you. Like I said, hope to see you sometime during this year. Then, like I said, man, let's get together. Like I said, go Tigers. It's always a great day to be a Tiger.
Oh, I forgot to tell you too, bro. We scouting heavy, so probably your opener in certain games. We gonna be a heavy. Try and get the kids some pub. They're my guy. You know how I feel about your kids. It ain't never no misunderstanding. So I want to try to get them kids, even if it's a mid-major out west, to look at them and be like, hey, let me look at him. So I'm really fighting for them guys, man. So we all on the same team, Brody.
Nope, I appreciate it, brother.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.